Hey folks, Ken here. Just a quick update. Yeah, still dealing with problems. I think when I mentioned last, I'd found Chilo, Danella, and my problem was I just added aquaflavin, an antibacterial. I'll tell you what's going on there in the back part in a second. Which I realised I thought I was dealing with fin rot and bacteria, but it turned out to be still parasites. If you look back at other videos, you see I've had an absolute nightmare start to the season with trichodinea, and then Chilodanella, and I've lost count at this stage as to what I've had, and flukes. So I've lost 6 goldfish. That's the thing. I lost 3 in the ponds. I had to euthanize 1. I set up this bowl in the filter shed to try and see if I could treat 2 others that were fairly poor. So I took them out of the aquaflavin and got them into FMG fairly quickly, but unfortunately 1 was dead this morning and the other is very ulcerated, so not great. Now positives are all the other koi look fine. You can see there's another goldfish in the background there. He just hangs around the top. He has an ulcer. Well, I say all the koi bar my Gin Matsuba at the bottom there. I took him out yesterday just to topically treat him. He's in a bad way. He's a lot of bloody scales and fins, and what do I do? And it's a difficult one because he's a sentimental fish. He's our first koi we had in the old pond, and he's part of the reason we built this. So my plan is, mad or not, I am cleaning out the back, so I just have a bit of PP. There's no fish in there, by the way. I just had the lilies. The lilies were doing gangbusters in there, and stagnant smelly water obviously really suits them, but I just put some PP in there to clean it up, and I'm going to vac it out, and I'll get the power hose on it then and give it a good clean down. You can just see the way my flow coat goes. It just gets coated in calcium because of the hardish water. But not that that's a problem. So what I plan to do is, I have another filter now, filtration. I'm not going to feed him, so he's got the Gin Matsuba. He's got 1 treatment of FMG. When I had him out doing the topical treatment, I did a scrape and he was clear. I couldn't see anything. So the Chilo, which I did find on him last week, seems to be gone. So I'm going to take him out and put him in here. Well, not in there, obviously. I'll clean it up and probably tomorrow, and I'll add some aquaflavin because I think that's what he needs if he's to be given any chance. What I'll do is, as well, I'm going to half fill it up to about 1,000 litres. This holds 2,000 litres. I have an aquarium 300 watt heater. I'll stick that in. I have my old pond pressure, which will just give me, I know it's not going to do any biological stuff because it's not used at the moment, but it will give a bit of oxygen and turn over the water. I won't be feeding anyway, so it should be fine. And I'm reading about bacterial in fish, and I'd say we're heading towards sepsis, if not already there. The trick is to bring the temperature up to about 25 and then treat with antibiotics, but I don't have antibiotics obviously. And I tried before, years ago, with aquarium fish when I had Malawi boat. Well, not me, the fish did, and the vet looked at me as though I was mad and said, no way, don't treat fish. Go to a fish shop and see if they can do something for you, which they couldn't because Malawi bloat is hard to treat. But anyway, I didn't even try the vet, to be honest. I don't think he gave me anything, and whether, so you can see him there, he is moving around, and even up to last week when I did feed a little bit, he does come up and eat. So I do feel there's a little bit of hope, so I just have to give him the chance. So if I get him into the back, put in the aquaflavin and try and bring the temperature up, what I'll do is, this is insulated as well at the back, by the way. What I will is I'll cover it. I have covers around the back, so I'll bring one of the covers over and just see, you know, he'll at least, you know, the worry is that you have a sick fish, and I'll probably stick that goldfish in with him. You know, I don't know for what it's worth, and see if he does anything. If he doesn't, unfortunately, I'll just do the decent thing. And the same with this fella, it'll break my heart. But you know, I know from reading up on other people's experience, you know, koi are tough and they can hang on when they're sick, but you're just creating problems for yourself, because all that'll happen is that their immune system is down. They'll continually get flukes and parasites, and you'll be treating the pond every month or so. So it's just it's not worth it. So I think it's get them out, get them into the aquaflavin, get the temperature up. You know, the weather's not looking too bad. We're up at about 20 degrees here in Dublin today. So with the cover on, like, you know, 1,000 litres of water, I should be able to hopefully get it up in the low 20s anyway. That would give him some sort of a chance. But yeah, so not good. And you can see this fella, like, there's a bit of fin rot in there. He's lost a bit of his tail, and you know, so it's I think it's something over the winter, and I'm guessing fluke. You know, I put in a couple of fish in late August and I had white spot, cleared that up. I'm guessing there was possibly fluke, and I noticed a bit of flashing going into the winter, but then, and even over the winter, but not bad enough to do much about it. And it was you know, your treatment options are very limited in the winter anyway, so I just left it. But of course, as soon as things warmed up, I realised I quickly had a problem, and I think it was just trichodynia. Treated that, fluke, found that, and I think it's just the fish are hammered, and especially my big Gin Matsuba. He's about 10, I'd say, you know, so in koi terms he's not that old, you know. He should still be able to fight, but just in case there's anything bacteria wise, I want to get the two of them out of the main ponds probably tomorrow, and see where we go from there. But even the little Tanasaba, tough little guy, you know, they're looking for food, but I can't feed them. What I'll do is it'll be 5 days from the FMG on Monday, so maybe even tomorrow night I might just do a big water change and give them a little bit of food, because they're going mad looking for it. What's the temperature of the pond? Excuse the mess here. I replanted the lilies as well from the back, and I PP'd them just in case there was any trick or anything in it. That's a new one there, but they're the two existing ones I replanted, and I put a few stones on top of them, so they'll go in. And that's the mess, and this is a mess. I had the bowl here, that round bowl, and I just had a filter, an aquarium filter, just to circulate and oxygenate and air stone, but unfortunately it didn't do the job. The pond at the minute is, yeah, it's just under 18, so it's not bad, but you know, it's just frustrating because I haven't fed. You know, I did start feeding a bit of wheat germ, and you know, the fish should be well into eating now, and I've been treating so much. What I'll probably just do is 2 treatments of FMG. The koi look fine. You know, I might take a couple out and scrape them just to be sure after the second treatment, but you know, I could go with 3rd treatment, but they're absolutely hammered. They need a rest, they need food, and you know, a couple of smaller ones I put in there as well. I'm sure could do with the food. The bigger fellas will manage. And I had, you can see on the wall there, blanket weed breaking out, but I think the FMG knocks that back a bit. It's not as bad. So basically it would be easier to list the problems I haven't had than the problems I've had. But anyway, that's the update. When I get this fella in here, I'll do a bit of an addendum when I get this set up as to how it is, and I say I'll stick a cover on it. I just get the power washer out and give that's just muck from the I took the plants out and put them up there, gone in with my wellies. I'd say looking at that, I think I'll start taking that out. The PP's been in there about 3 hours now, and it's gone off, you can see. So I will get cracking on that, and I'll swing back to you. There's Tarzan having a good old whatever Tarzan does, not much. I will get back to you and show you. I'll probably take a bit of a video of this fella as we're moving him, and you can see him, but you can see there. I was surprised how bad he looked, honestly, when I took him out. He doesn't look as bad there because the water is a bit cloudy and he's sort of 6 feet down. But when I took him out, he was very red, very veiny, and blood on the scales and on the tail as well. So I'd say it's very 50-50 at best, but let's see what happens. All right, talk to you soon. Right, folks, back again. It's now the following day. It's Sunday. Lovely day here in Dublin. It's about 20 degrees. Hardly a breath of air. Place a bit of a mess. So what I did yesterday, I was saying, I cleaned out the back pond. It was just a bit of stagnant water and the lilies. So the lilies are now down here. I replanted them. You can see there, like, the amount of buds on them in that stagnant water. It's obviously what they favour. I need to stick in a few tabs, but I just gave them a dip for 10 minutes in PP just to make sure there was nothing, no nasties on them like trichodenia, but didn't seem to impact them too much. They're still looking good and still blooming away. So that's that. So I didn't put them back into the top pond yet because I want to treat this Gin Matsuba, and to be honest, guys, I took him out again and he's not in a good way. He's worse than he was yesterday. He's a big ulcer on his head, which was starting to develop yesterday. You can't see him there. I do have a cupboard, so I have a pond heater in there. I'm trying to bring it up. The advice that I can see is some sort of antibacterial treatment and try and bring the temperature up to 25 degrees. So I've about 1,000 litres of water in there, and I have a 300 watt aquarium heater. Now, it did do something because this morning when I came out around 10 o'clock, the pond was 17 or 18, this was 16. I stuck in the heater, and within about 3 or 4 hours it was up to 17 as well, so not much in it. So I did acclimatise the Gin Matsuba. I just got my blue bowl and filled it with water from both the pond and this. I ended up having to sedate him so I could treat the head wound. You can't see him there, but it's odd when you look at him in here and you're looking down, or he's in the background and the water's not great clarity wise. He looked okay, and in fairness, he's not swimming around a lot. He's not up the front of the pond or the window where he would normally be, but he was moving around, which, you know, you sort of think was a bit positive. Now they are hungry, you know, that's the thing. With the temperature up, they're freaking starving, and I can't obviously feed them. I did scrape, so there's a goldfish gone in there. To be honest with you, I wanted to put the goldfish down. It's a bit difficult. My youngest son, he's 17, he is interested in the fish, and that Gin Matsuba particularly is one he really likes. And myself and my wife were looking at each other, and we took it out, and we were quickly coming to the conclusion that we should just do the right thing and put it out of its misery, but he didn't want to hear it. So listen, I've got it in the back. I've got my it's over here again, excuse the mess. The tidying up side of things hasn't been a priority in the last few days. Acroflavin, so it's just an antibacterial. I'd say it's more topical, but what I've read about is to put in a double dose of it, so I think 12.5 is the stated dose millilitres for 1,000 litres, and I'll put in another 12.5 later on. Now, having said that, you know, you take the Gin Matsuba, I did put a little bit of the pond water in there, not much, because there's FMG in it now, probably mostly expended at this stage because it was put in on Wednesday. But yeah, I don't know, even some of the goldfish, that fella there, you can see him in the back, although he's all right, he doesn't seem to have fin rot. The fella that's in the back pond was just hanging around the top as the others were, and some of them then died. But the koi all look fine, and I'd just be worried as well. You hear about these bacterial things. Now what I'd say with the Gin Matsuba, it's just secondary bacterial. He got hit hard with fluke, with trick, with gelatinella, and it's just too much for him. He's still a young enough koi though, he's only about 10. But we are sentimentally attached to him, which makes it tough, you know. But what I'll do is I'll give him the few days, try and bring up the temperature, get the treatment in and see if he improves. If he doesn't improve, it's just not right to drag it on. And you know, I've heard people have a fish like that and the fish hangs on and they keep it in their ponds for sentimental reasons, and all it does is, it's a sick fish, it's a hammered immune system, and it just keeps getting infections and fluke and parasites, and you're constantly treating the pond. It's not fair to him and it's not fair to the rest of the fish. So the other worry is I'm off on holidays 3 weeks tomorrow, and I'm really concerned that things aren't going to settle down. You know, it's the first time with this pond now I'll have been away for any more than a couple of days, you know, so that is that grass is like a ploughed field. That's from having a Rottweiler that has a rotavator in each corner. Anyway, it's just that it settles down, because my eldest son will be looking after things, but he's no interested in the fish, and neither would he know there was a problem. Now I do have a friend lives about 20 minutes away, so I'll probably give him a key and just ask him a couple of times to come up and just watch them and make sure everything's okay. I do have the camera there, so if there's anything really going wrong, so you know, I obviously don't want to have treatment in there. I want to do a good pond clean and a water change, and just have everything settled. I doubt it. Well, I may have to back, it depends on how things work out, I may have to back up and run. See if we can see him. Did he come around again? But I did treat, I just put a topical sort of inidine iodine thing on that. Oh, there's the goldfish, you can see there. He's, in comparison to some of the other ones, he looks okay. It just seems a bit of fin rot. He lost part of his tail. Maybe he'll come around. That's the heater hanging up there. It does have a plastic cover on it, so they won't burn themselves on it. I am trying to keep this out of the water, because I know it keeps slipping back down there. Just to give them a bit of oxygenation to water. I don't have an air pump to put on it that's big enough anyway. So that's it, I leave it at that. If you have any suggestions for very red, bloody, ulcery fish, besides the obvious, you know, I just feel if I'd accessed antibiotics, you know, and got the temperature up, he might have a chance with topical, and that's what acroflavin is. It's largely a topical treatment. It's not an antibiotic. It's like something you put, you know, and it has been used for humans on skin. It's just more a disinfectant, antibacterial than it is an antibiotic. But as you can see, everybody else looks happy and healthy, if not hungry. Even the carpox, there was a fair bit on the Utsuri, has died down. So what I decided I'm going to do, I'm just going to do, because I scraped those two and I can't see anything on them, so not even Sheila Danella. I'm just going to do 2 FMG treatments. They've been through so much. I'll just do 2, and I think it should be enough in this case, because there's no flashing, there's nothing going on whatsoever. And 2 I took out that are poorly or seem to be clean. Like I was wondering before when I took them out, just check them, is it the right thing or should they be back in here with FMG? But they seem clean, so I'll put them in there and hopefully they'll do a little bit better. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Cheers.